What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. We live. I'm trying to get off color people time, all right? CP time. It's kind of like jet lag. You can't get rid of it right away, but we get into it, man. We get into it. We got a lot of stuff we got to discuss. The NBA, the FBI, Wemby, Sengun, Ant-Man. It's a lot of things that we need to discuss. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to this live stream, man.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. This is my show. This is my camera. I run it all. Acknowledge me.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. We are going to get right into this FBI press conference where they talk about Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones. We're going to chop it up about a couple of things that came out, especially from the Miami Heat. As a Miami Heat fan, I'm looking out for us. All right? I'm not worried about everybody else. I'm looking out for us. So we got to talk about this, man. This is crazy.
To FBI Director Kash Patel.
Thank you. Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across the country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Casa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room.
All right, we got it. Listen, you're not saying anything we don't already know. Going back to Tim Donaghy, all right? We already knew all this. We knew they was doing stuff behind the scenes. We knew They was putting money on the games. We knew it was people doing things they shouldn't been doing as far as the sports betting. But what the other guy is going to get into is how Chauncey Billups played a role in not only in the sports betting, but also he played a role in some behind the scenes poker games with the mafia. The mafia. So listen, it's steep, but this dude is just, he said all of that just to get to the point where he is now. I'm not a political channel. I don't really care about this part. Tell me how this impacts my league.
For any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take...
I got a quick question. This whole sting operation, it spans a number of years, they said. A number of years operating on this. But there's another thing that you're supposed to be releasing information on that's been spanning for a couple of years now that the FBI just hasn't released information on. That's none of my business, though.
Courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account. So with that, I turn it over to United States Attorney Nosella. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Patel. To be clear, we're announcing today indictments in two major cases, both involving fraud. One involves sports betting, and the other involves illegal gambling, very specifically rigged poker games. The first indictment involves 6 defendants who are alleged to have participated in one of the most brazen sports corruptions since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra. Well, the cases are separate.
So, number one thing I want to know, who snitched? who snitched? Because you don't just stumble onto this information. You don't just come across this information because you just sit outside in a food truck with binoculars and microphones bugging a spot. Somebody gotta know something. All right, so I want to know who told, first of all. Second of all, we're going to get into the part where Chauncey Billups plays a part in this. And listen to me. People might be like, all right, you know what? Not really a big deal. It's just like everybody else. It's just like a player who's placed money on his unders, gets injured, and leaves the game. No. This is a coach who controls who's going to play in a game, how long they're going to play, which also controls their numbers. So let's say, for the sake of argument, the line for Luka Doncic, I think it's normally around 30 plus, right? Well, you say, all right, Luka, well, tonight we're probably not going to play you your usual 38 minutes. Maybe we're going to play you around 35, 34. And then I'm going to go to the press conference and say, you know what? That's my fault. I should have gotten him in the game sooner. Luka doesn't hit that 30-point mark. You cash in, your boys cash in. It can get steep. It's going to get steep.
There are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this: your winning streak has ended.
All right,
your luck has run. First, I would like to talk about United States versus Ernest, the NBA basketball gambling case. The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest, Marvez Farley, Shane Hennon, Deniro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player.
Now, important piece of information, okay? He's listing the actual names of the individuals who have gotten arrested. There's 31 people who got arrested 6 a.m. this morning, all across, I think they said 11 states. There's 4 different organizations that they've been keeping an eye on. Miami is not one of them, because that's important, because Rozier got arrested not because anything that's happened in Miami. But you ask a Miami Heat fan, we say otherwise. Not because anything that happened in Miami, but he got arrested for what happened in Charlotte before he got traded. Now, it is important to note they are listing the names of the people they arrested, but these names have not officially been named in the indictment. Okay, so when you look at the indictment, it's going to say former player from University of Colorado that played in the NBA from 1997 to 2014 or something along those lines, something like that. It's not going to officially say Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. So he's listing the names of the individuals that got arrested. Once they get more evidence and things of that nature, then they going to start putting names out.
Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jontay Porter. Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraud.
DeJounte, he's already tied up. He's already, they already got him. He could be the one that flipped on everybody, right? Could this add on to the trouble that he's already in? Unless he struck a deal to flip on everybody. You got the NBA players, you got coaches, and you got the mafia who are going to think it was you. That's tough. That's a tough spot to be in when you're in prison.
Fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The
prop bets, if you don't know, that's over-unders.
Bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars.
This is so crazy.
The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Toronto Rangers. Each defendant in the NBA basketball
Think you mean Raptors, my boy.
gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now, I would like to turn to the other case, United States versus Aiello, the rigged poker game case.
Okay.
Beginning
This is what confuses me when NBA players, coaches get involved in this stuff. Chauncey Billups they're about to list him again because he's involved in both sides of this thing. You earned over $100 million for your career. What are you doing fixing games? What are you doing sports betting? What are you doing fixing poker games? Take your money, do your job, and just stop. That is nothing but greed, man. That is nothing but pure greed. And you getting tied up for stuff that you don't need to be tied up in. You're dealing with the mafia, bro, for a poker game for a couple extra dollars.
as early as 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate.
He signed a 2-year extension just last year. What are you doing, man? What are you? I wonder what his some of his former teammates think. I wonder what his players are thinking. You already know. I think Portland got a game tomorrow. They are for sure going to be asked about all of this. So I just don't understand it. Plain and simple, really. They was fixing poker games, all that. I'm not going to keep going on with this particular video. I need to get to this other one because it makes a little bit more sense once you hear everything that Brian Windhorst had to say.
Brian Windhorst, kind enough to Brian, there's nothing going on. I was, you know what I mean? I appreciate you taking the time.
I was
there's
so
nothing
excited.
to talk about.
I was so excited to talk about Victor Wembanyama with you.
We'll talk about him.
Here's because I'm told we have 10 minutes.
To me, we're going to talk about him. That young man is actively the most dangerous player in the world right now. Okay? Nobody took heed to the warning when he was cooking Rudy Gobert ISO at 16 years old. Made it look easy, like it was child's play. Nobody took heed to the warnings. Then 1 year, 2 year, off season, he's at the I don't want to be disrespectful, but he spent time with monks, okay, working on the mental. Spent time with Hakeem Olajuwon, working on the footwork. Spent time with Jamal Crawford, working on the handle. Spent time conversating with Kevin Garnett, also working on the mental. This man, we are looking at the French avatar of basketball right now. This man is going to be insane to watch. Not in years from now, not in 2 or 3 years, not in 10 years. The next several months of basketball. And I'll say this. If he continues on the track, I'm not saying he's going to get 40 and 15 every night, but if he continues on this trajectory, that MVP conversation will be completely over by the All-Star break. So, Defensive Player of the Year.
I'd like to spend about 80% of it on
I
what we know.
understand.
But I do want to talk to you about Victor Wembanyama because that was pretty stupid what we saw from him last night. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus, the ESPN app everywhere, and ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. ESPN senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst is here on the program. I give you the floor. What do you know right now about what the FBI is alleging?
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time this morning reading the indictments. And, there's two cases, as you may know. One is a pretty spectacular in terms of details case about illegal poker games, which I assume somebody will make a movie about someday. And it does involve
like that one
NBA
with, Adam Sandler
players
and,
or
Green.
personnel. There are, I think, about 4 people who are charged in both cases. But that is not really what the NBA is going to be focused on and having to deal with. What they're going to have to deal with is the fallout of the other case, which involves illegal inside information on NBA games. Now, a lot of this was already known. You know, Jonte Porter has already pled guilty to some of the stuff that's in this indictment. Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat was already known to have been under investigation for a certain game in 2023. The NBA, in fact, is probably going to have to answer for why they allowed him to keep playing while the FBI was very clearly still investigating and still planning on possibly charging him, which they have done. And then there is a whole slate of incidences of people having leaking inside information of when players might be available for games. And some of these players are gigantic names. They're not named in the indictment, but if you pull back one layer,
Yes.
you can figure this out. In fact, Chauncey Billups isn't even named in this indictment, the head coach of the Trailblazers, who's now been put on leave by the league office, as, by the way, as Terry Rozier, as I'm sure you've told your viewers. Chauncey is just described as co-conspirator 8, who is described as an Oregon resident who played in the NBA from 1997 to 2014.
Yes, we can figure that out. Now
Okay.
it is. Yes.
So this is what the new information is, which is that Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups use their positions as coaches of teams to tell people who may be available. And what it appears to be Damian Lillard and LeBron James, potentially also Anthony Davis. I'm not 100% sure about that.
So wait a minute.
Now, he said LeBron James and potentially Anthony Davis. The amount of games those two missed when they were teammates, that could be a boatload of money. That could be a boatload of money that was made from those conversations. Now, the ones with Damian Lillard, Portland was already bad. I don't really know, how much information you really needed to say, oh, Dame's not playing. Yeah, they for sure going to lose tonight when they were one of the worst teams in the league. That's how you get Scoot Henderson, even before Dame went down with his injury. So that's the way I see that side of it. But like I said, Damon Jones, man, why? I just don't understand. I don't know his net worth or anything like that. I'm not going to look it up, but I'm just saying, why is it such a issue just to do your job, man?
And,
Let me just jump in here. So you're saying Chauncey Billups, it's not just the poker thing, that he is also in this indictment
Yes.
alleged to have given out information as to who's playing and who's not?
Yes, that's
Wow.
correct. And that's what I'm not downplaying the poker thing, but
No, I hear you. I hear you.
The NBA isn't concerned today with whether people who are playing in illegal poker games got defrauded. I mean, they may feign that they care about that, but they don't care about that. They
Right.
care about sensitivity information about their players and their games. And so what Chauncey is being accused of is, there was a tanking job going out in 2023 going on because people were really interested in getting their hands on Victor Wembanyama. And the Blazers weren't participated in that tanking situation. And there was a moment in March of that year where the Blazers basically seemed to have decided to put their tank in overdrive. And they decided they were not going to play their regulars anymore, but specifically they were not going to play Dame Lillard. And there was this day, I can't remember who they were playing, maybe the Jazz. But Damian was listed as probable with a calf tightness. And according to the indictment, I'm not saying it happened, I just said according to the indictment, Chauncey told somebody that Dame wasn't going to play amongst other players, even though he was listed as probable. As the day went along, he was then switched to questionable and then out, and then he never played again the rest of the season. And the Blazers lost 15 of their last 17 games.
Now, he said Chauncey Billups told someone. Him telling someone doesn't mean, he told team personnel that's supposed to report the information to the league. He's saying he hit somebody up and was like, hey, my boy's not playing tonight. Go and put those numbers on the unders. Go and put them on, as far as, maybe team points. Maybe, the win goes to the other team tonight. We ain't beating this team. Something like that, right? It's a safe bet tonight. That's what Windhorse is saying.
games and ended up with Scoot Henderson, the number 2 pick, but not the number 1 pick. And then Damon Jones, sorry, not Damian, Damon Jones, who was sort of a volunteer assistant with the Lakers for several years. They accuse him of saying that LeBron was, and they don't say LeBron's name, to be clear. They just say, they call him player 1 or player 2 or something like that. But they reference a game against the Bucks in 2023. It was the game after LeBron broke the scoring record, Kareem's scoring record. That game was against the Thunder, and LeBron was a relatively late scratch in that game. And the obviously not having LeBron, who was really close to the peak of his powers at that point, at least for that age, didn't play, and that information was used by people that Damon Jones told about it before it was public information. Then a year later, Damon apparently, according to the indictment, told these co-conspirators again that LeBron or Anthony Davis, it's not clear which, because both were on the injury report for a certain game against the Thunder, that they would either not play in that game or play less than normal minutes at the time.
Listen, and this is what I'm gonna say about this part. All right, with LeBron and Anthony Davis and LeBron James have barely played over 50 games. I think LeBron's averaged at 55 games when he's played it for the Lakers. Anthony Davis probably less. It can be any one of those games. All right? So stop with all this, we don't know what game it was. Just pick one. I guarantee you you're going to find something with whatever game you pick. NBA drama is always top tier. It's facts, because think about it like this, all right? Think about it. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, nothing. The first thing we hear about, day 3, Wemby dropped 40. Ant dropped 40. Everybody went crazy yesterday. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. We're gonna talk about all these, by the way. Maxey dropped 40. The first thing we hear about this morning is none of that. Hey, yo, Terry Rozier got arrested. Then we hear about Chauncey Billups. And because nobody really cares or know exactly where he is or what he's been doing this whole time, hey, yo, Damon Jones got arrested. We're hearing about all of this, and this is just the first week of the NBA. Why would you wait? And I guarantee you they did it because they knew, hey, first week of the season, it's going to be a big splash, a big topic of conversation. Let's get him, right? They had this info for a minute, especially if they know Porter's name was involved. They've known all this information for a while. So there's no way you could say, oh, no, they just, the straw that broke the camel's back, they figured it out this morning, and they decided to pick everybody up. Nah. You already knew. You knew you was going to be the number one thing on the news. And with the government shutdown, you don't got to answer any more questions about a certain list involving certain people. Let's shift everybody's focus to the NBA. And not just that. Let's shift everybody's focus to something that everybody knows has been going on for years. Like, come on, man. You cannot make this stuff
The Lakers were under 500, and the Thunder were a very strong team. They had Chet Holmgren, he was playing. They had Jalen Williams, he was playing, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, because I'm involved in the FanDuel space. Chet Holmgren and Andrew Nembhard, y'all need to go pick them up too.
Alexander all played in that game. And in fact,
6 assists.
LeBron and AD did play in that game, did play their regular minutes, and the Lakers pulled the upset. They had been not favored, and they came back and won. And the bettors, according to the indictment, the bettors were pissed off at Damon and asked for their money back that they had paid him for the information. So it doesn't even imply that this information was always accurate, but just that it was given. And there's also another game that was referenced between a Cavs and Magic game, also in 2023. Now, what I think I just want to point out is that this is so what the NBA is going to have to deal with here.
Yes.
Is obviously players with pulling themselves out of games with unders, but that's we frankly have known about that, unfortunately, for 18 months. That's
Yeah,
John Tay Porter thing from 18 months ago. The thing that the NBA is going to have to deal with, and they already have dealt with in a certain extent, Rich, is that for decades, there's been this soft spot where people involved with the team, whether it's the players or the other people, support staff, know well before the injury list is changed that a player is going to play. So let's just say you have an average Thursday in November. There's a shoot around in the morning. A player is listed as questionable. Everybody at that shoot around sees that that player can't walk. Okay. He's still listed as questionable, even though everybody knows he's not playing that night. That has happened for decades. And there have been people who could have passed that information on. Now, since sports betting became legal, the NBA, they recognize that this is a soft spot. And so they very vastly tightened their injury reporting. They now do injury updates all during the day. And they fine teams if they don't accurately tell injury situations. But that said, there is still this soft spot, largely in some cases because the teams don't want to let their opponents know who's going to be playing. And also, sometimes it's genuinely a game time decision. Sometimes you don't know whether a player is going to be able to play until he gets out there and warms up. And how does that calf feel? How does that, wrist feel? And so, but there's this gray area there. And so what I suspect will happen out of this, I don't think that this is something that is a scandal that is going to rock the foundation of the league. I mean, I'm sure that some people will get on television and say that. This is a problem that the NBA has known about and has been trying to address.
And by people, he means Stephen A. Smith. Let's just be honest. He's going to say, I'm not even, you know what? And I know they already talked about this. I'm not even going to go listen to it. Because the only thing that's going to come out of this, watching Stephen A. Smith go crazy, is me saying this.
Should know your role and shut your mouth.
And it's very consistent. That's how I feel every single time. So I'm not even going to watch that video.
There are instances now where it's coming out that people are exploiting it, but they were going to probably have to tighten it up even more and pressure teams more to be more honest about player availability, so that a volunteer assistant coach or anybody else may not be able to give inside information, that the information is much more transparent.
Well, I mean, in the few minutes I have left with you here, the just at first blush, the issue I think the NBA has got to square for a lot of those who are observing and fans is, how does Terry Rozier get arrested for something that the NBA apparently cleared him of?
That is absolutely going to, the NBA is going to have.
Now, the NBA cleared him in 2023. Now, we can say maybe the NBA didn't see anything when they did their investigation that will cause alarm or anything like that. The flip side of this is the FBI has involvement from mafia, this whole sports betting ring, DeJounte Porter, all of this stuff. So we don't know to the extent of the information that the NBA had available to them. Because the NBA is saying, well, we did our investigation, we looked at the money, we looked at bank statements, we looked at records, we looked at payments, withdrawals, we looked at, bets being placed, we talked to FanDuel and all these. They can only see so much, in fairness, right? They probably weren't aware, and to their knowledge, they weren't even aware that these people were being picked up this morning from the hotels. Portland played the Minnesota Timberwolves, so Chauncey got picked up in Oregon. Terry Rozier and them, they was in Orlando. They didn't play in Miami last night. They was in Orlando, so he got picked up at the hotel. So nobody's really aware of all of this morning, and they got slapped in the face with, all right, maybe we didn't do our due diligence, which they feel they probably did. So the next thing is, well, maybe there's more to this than just what we seen in text messages, FanDuel, his statements, other people who have knowledge of the situation. So I'm not really putting all of this on the NBA.
To answer that question. And as you probably know, there's a player under investigation for irregularity right now in Malik Beasley. And there's been, I think, frustration from people that Malik Beasley hasn't had it cleared one way or the other. And this is part of the reason why. that the
And I don't think Malik Beasley got a lot going for him because they done found out. I mean, Buddy owed his barber about $20,000 that he ain't paid up. So he in a lot of debt. So it's not looking good for him. And I imagine sometime soon he going to get picked up.
I think the NBA is going to have to be extremely careful with this going forward. And you were absolutely right, Rich. The NBA at some point is going to have to explain why Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing. And I just want to point something out. The sports books caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened, the morning it happened, when all of a sudden there was hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in on Terry Rozier unders for a relatively meaningless game in November. I'm sorry, in March, involving the Charlotte Hornets. The sports books caught it. They told the NBA right away, and guess what? The NBA, Rozier didn't play the rest of the season, and he had faked the injury, so it wasn't because of the injury. The NBA pulled him. They pulled Jonte Porter too. They flagged Jonte Porter and pulled Jonte Porter. The NBA's measures, their protection measures, the sportsbook's protection measures triggered this. They caught it. The issue, I think, is Jonte Porter. They caught, convicted, and tossed him out of the league within weeks.
Now that is a good response because both players had to go sit down, reviewing this, following up. How does one end up going to jail and then the other one's still allowed to continue his career? So it can't be a situation of favoritism or anything like that because they both got caught. Oh, man. That is a good question.
Rozier didn't. And this in this investigation, and I don't know if Terry Rozier is guilty. The NBA obviously didn't feel that he was. They wouldn't have let him play. But
now, here's the thing that I really wanted to get to and discuss, okay? Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, former player Damon Jones have all been arrested in illegal gambling cases. We already knew that, okay? What's next? This image came up because everybody is saying Gilbert Arenas got caught up. He's walking out, running down the steps, happy-go-lucky. Gil started trolling, went on his podcast talking about he had a bag full of food, said informant on it. All right, he gonna troll a little bit. What if there was some truth to this? What if Gil is, in fact, an informant, but he's just acting like he's not. He's playing along with it. I'm not going to hold you up, all right? I got a big back problem I'm dealing with. Them wings look good. I'm not going to hold you. Them wings look good. I got a big back I'm trying to get rid of. Terry Rozier is expected to be released today after putting up his $6 million Florida home as collateral. Now, they said they weren't going to release him for the they denied the $10 million bond. But instead, they settled for his house, giving up his passport, and agreeing not to gamble. All right. I mean, you can go into your own home. You can sit down with a group of friends and gamble. You don't have to use an app. You don't have to go to the casino. You can literally do it in a conversation. Hey, bottle flip, bet you $10. You're gambling right there. So it's not really something they can control because he probably, that's that's an interesting thing to request. He's willing to pay $10 million. That's $4 million difference. And the only thing he has to do is put up his $6 million home, give up his passport, and agree not to gamble. I don't like that. His attorney, Jim Trusty, said, "We have represented Terry Rozier for over a year. A long time ago, for over a year, but the information is about the situation is about 2 years old, almost 3 years old now. I don't know. Who was this representation before this particular instance, before Jim Trusty took over? That's a good question everybody needs to ask because he's talking like Terry's about to get off. Like he about to walk away from this scot-free. It's not going to be any issues. Long time ago, we reached out to those prosecutors to tell them we should have an open line of communication. They characterized Terry as a subject, not as a target. But at 6 a.m. this morning, they called to tell me FBI agents were trying to arrest him in a hotel. It is unfortunate that instead of allowing him to self-surrender, they opted for a photo op. They wanted the misplaced glory of embarrassing a professional athlete with a perp walk. That tells you a lot about the motivations in this case. They appear to be taking the word of a speculatory, incredible sources rather than relying on actual evidence of wrongdoing. Terry was cleared by the NBA, and these prosecutors revived that non-case. Terry is not a gambler, but he is not afraid of a fight, and he looks forward to winning this fight. Now, this is the basketball organization, the future of his career. This is where that takes a turn. Ira Winderman, he's a beat writer for the Miami Heat. Because the NBA is a cold hard reality, Terry Rozier's contract would be removed from the Heat's salary cap, luxury tax, and tax aprons. At a point, he would be deemed ineligible by the NBA. To that degree, it is a rolling clock and shifting number. If the NBA avoid his contract, the Heat would have flexibility to use a $16.1 million trade exception acquired in the Jimmy Butler trade. Miami could use that to acquire player or players earning up to $16.1 million before early February without sending salary out. Okay. Now, here's everything involved. Terry Rozier makes $26 million a year and the $16.1 million trade exception. All of that would come off. That would come off the bill. If arrest prompts NBA to avoid his contract, Miami's payroll commitments would drop from 186 to 159, still above 154.6 salary cap. The Heat would have flexibility to sign available bench players to fill spots 14 and 15. They have 2 roster spots available, but could not absorb a traded salary into cap space because it would have no cap space even if Rozier's contract is voided by the NBA. This is what Fox News reported in the NBA's response to all of this. The NBA placed Billups and Rozier on immediate leave of absence. We are in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today. The league said Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and integrity of our game remains our top priority. This is going to get uglier before it gets better, but we got some other things to chop up. Some more lighthearted information that we need to go through. That information being nights 1 and nights 2 in the NBA. We're going to take a look at some of the action around the league. Before we do that, get this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to it.
It's always with you. The rituals, the thrill, the hope and belief, the racing heart, the sweaty palms. It's what keeps you going. Game after game, block after block. The dream that this time might actually just happen. And if it does, well, you played your part along the way.
All right. Now, we're going to be looking at some of the action around the league. Night 1, we're not looking at that. Night 1 in the NBA. Why is this taking so long? Come on now. All right. Now, here we go. Let's go to Tuesday. All right, so Houston Thunder, Warriors, Lakers. I'm not gonna go too much in depth because I already did a video on these games. I did a video on the Rockets and Thunder, but the Rockets and the Warriors and Lakers. A lot of people have been talking about what's going on with DeAndre Ayton. Looking at this, all right, he played 34 minutes, had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block. Luka, 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Reeves, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. My issue with this is LeBron James is not playing. LeBron James is not available. He's not available in this game. So in your mind, you should be looking across. You should see Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, 2 undersized guys in the starting lineup. They're undersized. You're a 7-footer. Your objective, your primary objective in this instance should be to dominate your matchup. For whatever reason, you're not looking at it as an opportunity to dominate your matchup. Now, one thing that has always been a complaint about DeAndre Ayton is his motor. His I guess the Phoenix Suns had an issue where they continuously and repeatedly called him soft day in and day out, game in, game out. Because from what I see, okay, I see somebody who is just okay getting paid to play basketball. There's some players who are like that. I'm just getting paid to hoop. I don't really have to be great. I don't have to be good. I'm okay with being mediocre, okay? You can still get a passing grade with a C. C is not failing, all right? You can get by just being mediocre. The problem is you play for the Los Angeles Lakers. Mediocre is going to get you cooked night in and night out. And I'm not talking about the opponents. In the arena, when you leave the arena, when you at home, when you look in the comments, when you go on X, when you go on Facebook, when you go on Instagram, TikTok, you are going to get destroyed by the Los Angeles Lakers fan base. I don't think he has any idea as to what he's dealing with. So 10 points, 6 rebounds on 5 of 7 shooting, that's efficient. But you're an LA Laker, and you're not just a Laker. And this is the other thing nobody's really talking about. Shaq, Wilt, Kareem, Mike, and going all the way back in the day. Paul Gasol, right? Dwight Howard to a lesser extent, but even so, he got a championship. He played a role. Anthony Davis. These are the big men that played for this organization. You cannot afford to come in there, play the position that you play, and be mediocre. You are going to get destroyed, especially on a night where Luka has the output that he does. 43 on 27 shots, 17 for 27, very efficient, 7 to 10 from the line. He doubled you in rebounds. The point guard doubled the center in rebounds. That should never happen. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed if I was Ayton. Let that be Dwight Howard. There's no way. There's no way. No LeBron. I'm not really competing with anybody else for boards, because you look on the other side, it's just Draymond, it's Kuminga. We got Rui Hachimura playing the 4. I have no competition on the glass tonight. I'm going for a 2020. I'm going for a 2020. That's the way I see it. If Ayton was dominating the glass, I think it would have had a profound difference on this game. Rolling hard to the basket. That's one thing that was part of the conversation. When he played with Chris Paul, he rolled, not as hard, but he did roll occasionally. He got lobs. You know CP3's game. He's played with Tyson Chandler. He's played with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. He's always looking for the lob. All right, that's a given. But I just didn't see anything from Golden State that told me that DeAndre Ayton could not have a greater impact than what he did. That's something that they're going to have to deal with. Steph, 6 of 14, 23 points, very average night for him. 31, 16. This is what's important, all right? This is what Jimmy Butler brings to the table for this team. You have floor spacing with Steph and Curry. Then Kuminga has a crazy night. He goes off 4 of 6 from 3. Buddy Hield, 5 of 10 from 3. You have so much space to operate. All I got to do is run to the front of the basket, put my head down, run to the front of the basket. I'm going to walk into 16 free throws. That's just a perfect game played by the Golden State Warriors. Create spacing, let Jimmy attack. It's a match made in heaven on night 1. But man, DeAndre Ayton, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Let's talk about the Cavs and the Knicks. These two teams, I've said over and over and over again, every single video I've been making, every piece of content, every time I go on a live stream, these are the two teams that we need to keep an eye on for the conference finals. These are the last two teams standing. At the end of the season, these are the last two teams standing. Donovan Mitchell did his thing, 31. You can expect that from him. No DG. Darius Garland was not there. So you get 22 and 8 in a night when you're missing a star player. And this is what bothers me about guys in the NBA sometimes. Last night, or the night before, OKC versus Houston, game 1. There's no J-Dub. They know that going in. There's no J-Dub. Chet comes out on a heater. On a heater. He caught fire early. So he was already knowing, like, look, I got to come in and cook. Dropped 28 points on the night. Then SGA was able to pick up and keep it going. Evan Mobley, 22 points, 8 rebounds. That's not enough. That's not enough. That's not enough on the night where you're missing a guy like DG. You get help from Merrill. You can't say, well, that other player had 19, so my 22 is cool. Nah. Especially not in the Garden. Especially not in the Garden. So 22 and 8, that's a good game. 8 of 18, okay, that's fine. 4 of 8 from 3. You're probably going to be shooting a little bit more of those this season, but I'm not rocking with it. This is what's important right here. Right here. It's going to be even more important when DG is playing. This and this. 1 of 7. It's going to take some time for him to get into the flow of things. Missed a lot of time over the past, 3-4 years. Missed almost all of his time in Chicago. That's going to be a big deal. But one thing I will say about New York, okay? They have Bridges, Brunson, Cat, OG. Then you come down here. Clarkson, Shamet, Bridges, and then you also have Mitchell Robinson, who's out with an injury, and you have Josh Hart. This team is so ridiculously deep, it makes no sense. So ridiculously deep. And the biggest concern for me, and this is just for me, this dude has got to buy in. Okay? I guarantee you they won the game, played a great game. I mean, look, you get 5 of 18, not an efficient night. He scores 23 points. 6 of 11, 16 points. 9 of 17, 24 points. 5 of 12, but you get to the line 9 times, 19 points. You scroll down, you get 15 from McBride. Clarkson gets 7 shots. It seems like it was a well-balanced shooting night. Okay? He has to be okay on nights like this. 19 and 11, I get 12 shots. I got to make the most of them. He has to be okay with some of those nights. Not every night is going to be 25 and 12, 30 and 12, and I go crazy and I make 4 or 5 threes. You're playing with a volume scorer who is also efficient. This is not an efficient night, but he shot 49% from the field last year and had averaged 28 points. So you got to be okay with these type of games. OG went off. Just look, grab boards. You still got your 19. Go do this. Go block some shots. Go get some steals. Clog up the paint for the offense. Because guess what? They shot 19 of 46. 41% from 3. 12 of 18. 66%. They were perfectly fine jacking up threes the whole night. Okay? You know what that means? When a team is shooting a ton of threes or jump shots, that means long rebounds. OG Anunoby caught on. Hey, tonight, me and OG, we trying to see who can get to 20. That's got to be the mindset. That's got to be the mindset. Even though, they won the game, you still got to be like, hey, I ain't get my numbers, but I'm cool. These two, I said they're going to be in Cancun. They're going to be in Cancun, so I'm not really concerned about that. But 136, that's kind of crazy for opening night. This is what I didn't watch this game. But I was annoyed just looking at the box score because this makes no sense. Why is he only playing 14 minutes? He's 7-4. You've seen what he can do in preseason. And I'm all for patience. I'm all for waiting, seeing, and stuff like that. But what are we waiting and seeing for? He's going to get more experience. He's going to improve and get better when he's out on the basketball court. Why are we not doing that? Look, I think Spo is the best coach in the league. Phenomenal coach. All right. I'll take Spo any day of the week, twice on Sunday, to be the head coach of my organization that I'm building from the ground up. But the handling of Ware makes no sense. Why Drew Smith keeps being brought back, I have no idea. I have no clue whatsoever. We obviously know why Terry Rozier didn't get any minutes. We already talked about that. Andrew Wiggins, 6 of 12, 18 points. You just okay with being mediocre. Same thing with DeAndre Ayton. He's going to have a couple games where he goes off, but we're going to lose those games. It happens. The same thing happened last year. We were told about Jovic, how he's going to make leaps and bounds. I need to see it. This dude right here, your shorty just got MVP. Then she got Defensive Player of the Year. Then she got Finals MVP and another championship. There has to be some sort of motivation. You gave me 12 rebounds, fine. You gave me 15 points, that's not enough. It's not enough. On top of the fact you have a divisional and crosstown rival. That's not enough. 4 for 13 is terrible. You're a big man. You're a center. You spend most of your time, or should be, closer to the basket. 4 of 13, trash. Norman Powell, great debut. Great debut. All right, most points in a Miami Heat debut since LeBron James. 28 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 threes, 6 or 7 from the line. I can't ask for too much more. I can't ask you to do any more. You just got here. Davion Mitchell, 7 of 15, 16 points, 12 assists. That's beautiful basketball. You know what he brings to the table. But this, if he can provide this consistently, please proceed with caution. Shout out to Naomi. Proceed with caution, man. 16 points and 12 assists. But this is what I'm bothered with right here. This and this 4 of 13. Jaime Jaquez, 6 of 7. We got a Jaime sighting. All right, 6 of 7, 13 points. You get 13 points from Fontecchio. He comes from Detroit. At the bottom of the bench, goes right in. He gets minutes right away. I mean, not too bad. You get 33, 35 points from your bench. This is where they lost the game right here. And I'm not saying, everything that went wrong in the game is his fault and things like that. What I'm saying is you can't be the best player on the team, best player on your entire roster, and be the captain and go 4 for 13 to open the season. That just can't happen. We can't allow that to be the norm. Who else played? It was a jam-packed night. Toronto, that's going to be a team to watch. Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, everybody's 6'8" or taller, can handle, can shoot, can score, can play defense. They're going to be a team to watch. But I made a video. VJ Edgecombe, like I said, I was not making a video that night. I just looked up. This boy had 34. Tyrese Maxey had 40. This is not really concerning because we know what it is. All right, we know what it is. He's not going to play a ton of minutes to start, but the firepower actually can give you that 25 to 30, which he's capable of doing. You guys should be okay. I picked them to be in a playing spot. So if they can do that, they can hold face. They're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. But VJ Edgecombe, he's going to be, I said he has that Allen Iverson underdog look in his eye, look to his game, and everything that came with Allen Iverson at the time, the fire that he played with. I see that same thing in there. Yes, it is because he's wearing a Philadelphia 76ers jersey. That's why I made that comparison. This is another topic conversation that we got to dive into. Pelicans versus the Grizzlies. Zion Williamson and John Morant both played in the same NBA game. They both played in an NBA game together. That's extremely important. That is extremely important. Them both being on a basketball court at the same time, in the same game, in the same arena. It doesn't happen all that often. 27 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds, 5 steals. Wow. We already knew he could get in the passing lane and could play defense, but dang. They flipping it in Memphis. 27 points for Zion, Herbert Jones played well, 17 points. Trey Murphy struggled a little bit, 13, 7 boards. Jordan Poole, 17 points. This is what's disappointing right here. Okay, that's unacceptable for me. Okay, that's unacceptable for me. When I look at the skill that Jordan Poole possesses, the weapon that is Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, pretty athletic. You have shooters, so I need at least a minimum of 6. You can get 17 to 20, I don't care. But I need at least 6. Because, yes, you are a score-first PG, so I'm going to be fair in that. But 2 ain't enough. That ain't it. Sadiq Bey, 13 points. He had 1 of 5 from 3. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Fears, this is a young player that can contribute day one. Literally did, but you know what I mean. All right, he can be a big contributor off of the bench, playing behind Jordan Poole.
Pause again.
All right, so moving on. Why did Jose Alvarado not play? That's interesting. Did not expect to see that. Jaren Jackson falls in line with the same conversation I've been having. Ayton, just, bro, do you even want to hoop? Do you love hooping? Is this what you want to do? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, just look at this, all right? 35, 20 shots. He needs more from your next best player. You need more. Yeah, you won the game, but don't be satisfied with that. 18-8 is a good game for an average player. You're supposed to be an all-star consistently. That's not good enough, man. It's not good enough. 14 points for Coward, 10 points from Prosper. I mean, you did enough to win the game. Is it going to be enough to get you through the Western Conference? I don't know. I think the Pelicans have more, but I don't think either team has enough. What other game did I want to look at? There's one game that knew this was going to happen. This is the one. We're not going to talk about. We can talk about this. Which one do I want to discuss first? Let's talk about the Clippers and Jazz, because that wasn't supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. And I said, you guys are old, super old. Bradley Beal, 20 minutes, 5 points. You get 15 and 11 from James. Still not enough, because 15 points, 5 of 12 shooting, 2 of 9 from 3. I don't like it. You get 10 points from Kawhi Leonard. Just 10 points. He played 29 minutes. He played 29 minutes. I don't think there's a defense on earth that Kawhi has not seen. And I don't think there's a defense on earth or a defender on earth that is going to clamp up Kawhi. I've seen LeBron do it a few times, but it's the Utah Jazz. All right, it's the Utah Jazz. Let's just be frank about it. 19 points and 7 rebounds. I mean, as a big, 7 feet tall, you dominated the glass last year. You can't have games like this versus a team like that. All right, you look at the other side. Walker Kessler, 7-footer, Filipowski, Markkanen. They do have a long, lengthy lineup. I'll give you that. But you still got to go in and punch them in the mouth. Like I said, this is still the Utah Jazz. The other team over here wants me to be convinced that they have title hopes. 5 threes for Brook Lopez, 14 points, 7 rebounds from John Collins. They did their job. From what it looks like, they did their job. All right, Chris Dunn, time is ticking for you, buddy. Time is ticking for you. And we already knew, I mean, this team was old, so I'm not going to say, see, I told you so. I'm going to say there's no way that you should be losing to that team in that manner. Let us talk about Victor Wembanyama. I don't even know why I sounded like that. I was watching this page load up, and it just sounded weird. I'm gonna pose a question. Is Victor Wembanyama the best player in the NBA right now? Is he the best player in the NBA right now? Now, this is, let me explain something, okay? I'm gonna add context right away. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 9 for 11 from free throw line. Only took 2 threes, made 1. You had 3 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist. The number that is very important right here is 40, 15, and 2. Okay? 40, 15, and 2. You have 40 points and 15 rebounds. And you were being guarded by Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. Anthony Davis is one of the best defenders of a generation. Lively, very good defender. PJ Washington can defend. You look at the bench. Okay, he didn't play, but normally, I mean, Gafford is a good defender. He's out with an injury, I'm pretty sure. You did that to Derek Lively and Anthony Davis. You made Derek Lively obsolete in this game. You made Anthony Davis look like he was a guard on a big. That's what you did versus them. And only taking 2 threes, you did a lot of your damage going to the rack. You're going to see some of it in just a minute. You did a lot of your damage getting to the basket, dunking on people, punching it. Like, that's not something that, you know, we really expected from Wemby. All right, we knew he was, like I said, he was, you know, hanging out with Monks, talking with Akeem about footwork, working with Jamal on his handle, talking to Kevin Garnett about mindset, but he put it all together in one game and went nuts. We're going to be reacting to his film from last night in just a minute. But man, you do that and you open the doors for 22, 7, and 6 from Stephen Castle. You get 13 from Vassell. They're gonna probably trade off. Some nights one's gonna be on, one's gonna be off. If they both get on the heater, it's going to be wraps. You didn't get much from your bench. Oh, I'm sorry. Debut, 15 points, 4 assists. Okay, I like it. 4 rebounds, 2 assists. I'm sorry. I like it. Solid numbers. Not doing too much. 7-14, still an efficient night. So you get, I mean, what? 11, 14, 19, 21, 23, 38. You get 38 points from the bench, and you get this from your starters. You can have games where you win the game by, what, 33 points on the road on a night where Cooper Flagg's been touted as the next big thing. Shout out to Brock Lesnar. And he gives you 10 points, 10 rebounds, but he shot 4 for 13. Okay, and Wemby said his objective going into this game was to send a message. You're playing a team that is in your division. You're playing a team that is a in-state rivalry, and you're playing a team that is talking about championship aspirations. You're playing a team has champions, all right? Has champions. Has players that's been to the NBA Finals, right? Send a message. They did just that, but here's the important thing to realize. It wasn't a situation where they did it as a collective, as a team, played basketball the right way, the typical Spurs, moved the ball around, shots. Wemby said, give me the ball, and I'm going to lead the way with my tenacity, my aggression. It was very Giannis Antetokounmpo-like with some flashes of Kevin Durant. That is frightening. I don't like that combination at all. Not because it's not good, not because I'm not a fan of it, but because it means we got a problem to deal with for the next 10 to 15 years, man. This is going to be an insane ride. But gonna step away, take a break for just a minute. When we come back, we're going to look at Wemby's film from last night, and we're also going to talk about more action that's going around the league right now. We have OKC versus Indiana in the NBA Finals rematch minus Tyrese Halliburton, and we also have Golden State playing the Denver Nuggets. And we're going to wrap up after that.
Welcome to Outside the Playbook's Top 5. In this edition, we will be listing our top 5 players of day 1 and 2 in the NBA. Number 5.
3 minutes into this ball game, and you can see already what Dominic brings. There's the tap back to
Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. Number 1. That rounds out our list of top 5 players of day 1 and 2 in the NBA. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tune in next week for another edition of Outside the Playbook's Top 5.
one more for the good guys.
All right, we have Wemby, night 1 versus the Dallas Mavericks. San Antonio going into, territory of a rival. Okay, you're going into a rival's territory, and Wemby said our goal was to send a message. I think they succeeded.
70% of his buckets are dunks.
Here's Wemby. Step back long 2 is good for Victor Wembanyama.
He had a step back on the dude that's 6'11".
Great play by Derek Lively the second just to keep that alive. You can't grab it, keep it alive.
Davis on the attack, altered by Wembanyama. Spurs jump in front, 9-8, first quarter action. Davis the deep catch. Wembanyama there for the
ultimate
block.
weak side hook.
Crowd wanted a goaltend, did not get it.
Full court zone pressure from Dallas. Try to slow the advance a little bit.
Oh my! The tomahawk! Gonna like highlights like this all season.
Smart move to get out of the way.
I will say,
he's over.
Referees are going to have the same problem they have with Giannis. He's so long, takes super long strides. He's going to get away with some travels. He's going to get away with a lot of travels. I don't even have to look at the comments to know they probably going crazy over how many steps he's getting.
7 feet tall. He looks like he's 6'2".
Wemby the catch!
He looks like he's playing on a Little Tykes rim. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Pause. Pause again.
In his face. In his face. That's tough. Stay on your
Gives
feet,
it
young
up
fella.
and then gets it back. It wasn't the best
Stay
pass.
on your feet, young fella.
Preseason media.
Wemby 3 to shoot. Wembanyama fading and hitting. How do you stop it? Can't hit the leaner. Yes, Powell thrust into action. Wemby!
Just throw it to the sky.
Oh my!
Just throw it to the sky.
The cosmic grace.
Nobody picked up Stephon Castle. And he had an easy pass, and he can throw it as high as he wants.
Davis couldn't finish it. Back in off the bench in this second. Here's Wembanyama after that ridiculous reverse. Yeah, why not? Just bank it in softly. Number 2 overall pick gets it into Wembanyama, guarded by Washington. Wembanyama, the fake, the reverse.
Well, click, click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
He just rocked the cradle. Did he just rock the cradle?
And the foul, a figment of our basketball imaginations.
Like, P.J. Washington is an excellent defender, but you want him to take that shot as opposed to that shot.
It don't make no sense, man.
Wembanyama working Davis, spinning, taking, hitting. Plus the foul.
You son of a gun.
Decided to roll the dice.
Hakeem Olajuwon. You know what, man? It's some people that ask for your help. You need to say no. You should have said no to him.
And Wemby won.
Just the moves of a point guard in a 7'5" body. Getting underneath him.
Flag with some haste. Surges and gets
that.
denied by Wemby.
Give me that.
Lively then nearly took it away from Wemby. Instead it's Vassell.
Oh, throw it to the sky.
Going up
Keep that
high
highlight
to
in
throw
there.
that
Throw it
down from Castle.
They're going to be a nice
Lively
backcourt.
denied.
Oh, give me that.
Emphatically by Wembanyama.
It's like playing against your dad in the driveway when you're 8 years old. What do you do?
Wemby 3. You bet.
We need to watch this again. He gets the block, and he fakes like he's going to throw a chamois. He takes the chamois back, goes into his... We need to discuss this, because I think the NBA has...
Going up high to throw that down from Castle. Lively denied emphatically by Wembanyama.
It's like playing against your dad in the driveway when you're 8 years old. What do you do?
Wemby 3.
What?
You bet. Plus the foul.
What?
I see it. I'm trying to make sense of it. It just shouldn't be happening. The man is 7'5". Okay, 7'5". He comes up,
makes the incredible block,
size up,
crossover through the legs.
The help is here, so he goes between, but he knows he's going for the step back. Another behind the back. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, his release point. Okay, on his jump shot. Look, they jump similar times. His release point is taller than
behind the back and knocks down a 3 and picks up the foul. I mean,
this
come
don't make
on.
no sense. This don't make no sense.
Wembanyama fakes the 3, dazzles, spins, fades.
Oh, Hakeem, you son of a gun.
Career 30-point game.
Hey, don't you train this boy no more.
Wembanyama sat for the back half of that third quarter after his dazzling start to it. Picked up his 4th foul and was on the bench. Here's Wemby. Wow. Just perpetual.
But the initial penetration off this Ricky, Anthony Davis goes and tries to stop the...
All we had to do was just be absolutely terrible. For 1 year, we could have had somebody like this. We could have had a Cooper Flag or a Wembanyama. Dog retooling Miami freaking Heat.
Penetration, and Wembanyama just trailed behind him, and Harper found him.
Can't hit. Wembanyama, his 13th rebound. Wemby shakes, takes, and
he's making Anthony Davis look like he's a bad defender. Like, I know Anthony Davis can play defense. I know Anthony Davis is long, athletic, can move his feet, block shots. He's making Anthony Davis look like it. If you never knew who Anthony Davis was and you just watched this clip like, yo, get Buddy a sub. Sub him. Get him out of here. Go sit him down.
Wembanyama, his 13th rebound. Wemby shakes, takes, and slams. It's absurd.
What?
I just don't understand.
He's got shake to his game. This is with the left hand. And it just gets a little bit of an angle. You think you're angling him out toward
everything.
the corner.
He's trying to dunk everything.
And still he's able to go up over the top like this.
Wemby gets the Castle. Castle over to the cell. Lobbing it up, and Wembanyama
throw it to the sky.
Completes the execution of a beautiful set. 5th career 40-point game. Wemby spinning, elevating. You bet.
That dude had no chance. Was that Christie? Max Christie? Had no chance.
You mentioned your summer, and you did so many things. Your coach talked about how intentional those things are to help you with basketball and life, whether it was working out with Akeem, going to NASA, working out with the Shaolin monks. What was the inspiration for that summer?
So going to NASA, I don't think it helped me for anything basketball-wise, but it was a dream, so I liked it. But, you know, it all helped me. I think the main thing, my summer revolved around my physical development and my trip to China. That's what it was about.
Listen to me. The combination of being the height that he is, training with Hakeem Olajuwon, training with Jamal Crawford, I'm not saying he's the best player in the league. I'm saying he might be, and he's going to continue to get stronger because it looks like for him it's a point of emphasis. Oh, by the way, De'Aaron Fox didn't play last night. Daggone it. All right, they're going to be a problem. But anyways, being stronger is going to be a point of emphasis from him. From what it looks like, if he keeps getting stronger and dunking like this, it's going to be a problem. But let's move on to tonight. OKC, Indiana, double overtime, another double overtime game. OKC, the Indiana Pacers, NBA Finals rematch, 135-131. Looks like it is in second OT, a minute left. Let's see what the damage is. 51 from SGA, 15-31. Listen, we already know. I'm not saying what you think I'm saying. All right? But this is going to cause a lot of problems on social media. This is going to be a big issue because he took a step back versus the Houston Rockets the other night, had the internet in shambles. Because how come nobody's calling his push off? How about you just tell your defender to be in better position because you know the scouting report. You know he's going to the step back. You know he's trying to be crafty and get to the free throw line. Stay down on the jump shot, young fella. I believe that SGA is going to go down as, I don't have another way to phrase it except for James Harden 2.0. 2.0 because James, he had a lot of threes. He ended up being top 5 all-time in three-point shooting. SGA is carving you up from the mid-range majority of the time and getting to the basket. He has, I don't want to say revolutionized, but he's changed the thought process that you can only be a great scorer if you take a certain amount of threes and make a certain amount of threes. That's no longer the case. Aaron Wiggins, I talked about this. If he can come in and consistently contribute and be a factor every single time he steps on the basketball court, 23 points, 8 rebounds in a big game on the road, phenomenal. You get 15 points, 12 rebounds from Chet. I took Chet Holmgren for 15 points, but I also took Nembhard for 6 assists. He got 4 assists and decided his shoulder was hurting. FBI, come get him. That's all I got to say. FBI, come pick him up. But yeah, 7-8 from the free throw line. You don't hit any threes, 4-12. Go crash the boards. You get 12 rebounds from Chet. You get 14 from Hartenstein, 2 assists, 5 points. He did his job. His job, I mean, you get anything out of him other than hard-nosed defense, playing physical, making sure his matchup is locked up, locked down, that's a plus. I told y'all, this boy right here, A.J. Mitchell, I said 10 points off of the bench in his role, we good. The man has 26 tonight, 8 of 8 from the free throw line, 9 of 19 field goals, didn't hit a 3-point shot, 4 assists. So you get 26 points, 4 assists off of the bench from a player. And you get 51 from 51 from your guy. It's hard for me to think that they were going to lose this game. At one point, they were down by 4 points in the first overtime, I believe it was. That caught my attention. But I mean, oh my God. This is a game. This is a game that we have missed tonight. 15 points from Ben Shepherd. You get 13 from Walker, 18 from Obi Toppin. The starters, 36, 11 from Benedict Mathurin, 15 to 17 from the free throw line. Now, let me ask you this. Why is it not okay for SGA to go now 21 to 24 from the free throw line, but nobody's going to say a word about this 15 of 17 from Benedict Mathurin? 36 and 11. He's going to, like I said, he's going to have one of those years. He's going to have one of those years simply because Halliburton's not there. Somebody has to step in and fill some sort of void. You're not going to do it solo, but somebody has to. Nembhard, we don't know what he's going to be, what his situation is. He's out with a shoulder injury. So there goes your floor general. Pascal Siakam, 32 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. Knowing the defending champs are coming into your building, knowing you have an NBA Finals rematch, your guy isn't rocking with you, he ain't rolling with you, and Miles Turner is in Milwaukee. It's just, as far as all-stars go, it's just you. Former champion, just you. Hey, what are you going to do about it? 32 and 15 and 4, no matter win or lose. That is the appropriate response to the situation. But 20 points from Toppin, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. It looks like they're doing the ball handling by committee. And then you have Ben Shepherd coming in with 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Seems like it was a good night. Great game. I'm going to definitely watch this back. Definitely, man. This is back-to-back double overtime games. It's going to take a lot out of you to start the season. But man, these have been some great games, and OKC, they are taking everybody's best shot. They are taking everybody's best shot and responding. That is the important part. As a defending champ, taking everybody's best shot, it doesn't always equals wins. I mean, you can take a very large step back if you're not ready for that. The way they're responding every single night, and Dagnall, the coach of the team, he always has the temperature in the room. He always knows it. He always knows what buttons to push, when to push him, and things like that. So I like him as a coach. He's a good coach, very good coach. We got Golden State, and we got Denver. Let me see. Aaron Gordon, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds from Joker, 12 from Jamal Murray. This is the Jamal I want to see, man. This is the Jamal I want to see. You're looking across from a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards of all time, one of the greatest players of all time. You need to come out and go at him. 12 points, 3 steals, 6 assists. Attack this man. Attack this man. I love to see it. I love it. You get 8 points from Valanciunas off the bench. This is going to be his key contributor this season, crashing the boards. These two on the basketball court, Bruce Brown, Hardaway Jr., they're going to be a dynamite backcourt off the bench. Peyton Watson, he's got to develop a little bit quicker. He's been around a couple years now. Haven't really seen much change in his game. You get 9 from Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy doing Jimmy things early. You get Kuminga, 6 points. You get Steph with 1 for 3. 8 from Brandon Pajemski. Buddy Hield, he's got to be efficient consistently, but he has the most three-pointers in the NBA since he came into the league, even more than Stephen Curry. So we already know what we're getting out of him. He's got to check the bench, man. He's got to check the bench for Golden State to see if we're consistently getting contributions. You already know Steph is going to come along. You already know, because he typically has slow starts to the season. You know Jimmy's going to do Jimmy things. Draymond, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He's not really contributing offensively. He's going to give you assists, steals, some blocks, rebounds. He's the point guard on the floor with Stephen Curry. Steph Curry is the floor general. Directing traffic, you can see it. He's going to attract attention night in and night out, but those two in tandem are great PGs for this team. It's not looking good, man. OKC versus Indiana. It is not looking good for Indiana. 141, 130, double nickel game. They just got to keep fouling. This man might end up with 30 attempts. It's going to be really interesting to see the conversations that are going to be had tomorrow. 15 for 31, 23 of 26. Now, mind you, this is a double overtime game. Okay, we have to factor that in, and it's a close game. So if you miss a shot and I'm Indiana, I have to foul you. Okay, send you to the free throw line, preserve the clock. I have to foul you. So yes, let's take that into account. Double OT. Also, we have got to factor in no J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren is struggling. So, hey, you got to pick it up. You got to pick up the slack. The game just went final. 141, 135. OKC gets the dub. That's just, I mean, that's a hard-fought battle. Hard-fought battle, man. Let's look at this.
Just 6 minutes to go here, and they're full court pressing. All 3 bodies up with their men.
A.J. Mitchell out there with Hartenstein, Wiggins, alley-oop to Hartenstein, and the foul. Perfect
great
pass.
pass. Wow.
6.5 remaining. Toppin. Neesmith passed up the 3, drives inside, uses the left, but too strong off the glass. Hartenstein grabs another rebound. He's got 10 of those. A.J. Mitchell, 3-pointer. Dort, the offensive rebound. Lost it out of bounds.
Based on the game he was
now
having,
they're going to call a foul.
Woo! Both, I think, feeling is you'd love to see him let them play on, but they can't challenge that because you're going to see by the letter of the law it's a foul because there's contact on his left arm.
Meanwhile, Mitchell answers right back with a tough shot. Mitchell, 17 points. He had 16 on opening night.
I like him.
OKC up 2. And now Bradley, wild shot counted and a foul. Bradley just flipped it up. There was a question whether or not Bradley was going to be on the team. Again, they have 4 centers. Wiseman, the only center that has not played tonight. Just past the midway point of the 4th, all tied again. A.J. Mitchell. Holmgren drives inside.
I think Indiana defensively is probably going to have.
Right away. Off of the bench, you have a guy, left-handed, who is operating and running your offense. Your best players on the bench. I think Sam Presti got it right once again. Okay. You can't always go back, but going forward, make sure you can repeat the same successes and alleviate the same failures. You got another lefty off the bench that can be point, while SGA and J-Dub can play off the ball, and Chet too.
Have about
Presti,
1 or 2 more possessions before you see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back on the floor, and they've really got to execute on this end.
Mathurin, Toppin, Walker, Siakam, and Shepard out there for Indiana. Walker back up top. Mathurin looks at the shot clock. 4 on the 24. Good defense by Dort. Mathurin knocks it down.
Great shot. This is where you miss.
Mathurin drills the 3.
This is where you miss Halliburton, because that's a tough shot. Hallie's going to get you an easy shot and get everybody organized. He was just being great at a one-on-one situation. Yeah, Mathurin was just great in a one-on-one situation.
Walker. Walker wants to put it up. He does. Got it to go. Still over 4.5 remaining. Gilgeous-Alexander against Walker. Pump fake, spin move,
feet work.
fall away, jumper, can't get at the ball.
Oh, missed it.
Right to Toppin. Toppin to Siakam. And Obi Toppin traveled.
He threw it too late. What are you doing?
12th turnover.
Give up the ball. Give up the rock.
First one in the fourth quarter.
I have no horse in the race, but
confused by the call.
Situations like that, bro, pass the ball. Trust your teammates.
Hartenstein and Holmgren, the big guys out there with Dort, Gilgeous-Alexander, and A.J. Mitchell. Don't be surprised to see Mitchell finish games this year. This young man can play. Mitchell crossover, drives inside, stops, and banks it home.
Oh, he too tough.
Mitchell, 19
he too
points.
tough. He too
That's
tough.
2 great games to start the season
Oh,
for
okay,
A.J. Mitchell. You talk about getting off to a great start. And they're putting the ball in his hands. They ran that set with the ghost.
I said y'all didn't add anybody in the offseason. Y'all knew something we didn't. Okay.
Screen was Shea.
Okay.
But he kept it that time because he saw a driving lane.
Siakam can't get the roll. He thought he got hit. Under 4 remaining.
Why he running like, never mind.
Walker defending SGA. Walker just 22 years old. Good, tough young player. Mitchell again on the drive. Stops. 5 to shoot. Gilgeous-Alexander pulls up. In and out. Rebound almost falls to the floor. Siakam picks it up.
No, he's getting to his spots. He's getting to his spots.
Mathurin aggressively to the basket. Layup won't go, but a foul.
He's getting to his spots, man.
Attacking that head fake and ball fake, and Toppin will pick up.
That right leg into you to get you back on your heels. You know what's coming. The step back, going
free throw merchant.
And for the second straight game, he's got 35 points.
I'm just trolling. I don't
up
believe
on
in
3
that. Like I
minutes
said,
remaining.
he can get to the line, get to his spot.
Pascal Siakam and Mathurin. They've got a combined 53.
Oh,
and every time he hits a bucket, he looks.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was a Dwayne Wade move.
Pascal Siakam and Mathurin.
Oh, that was so soon.
Got a combined 53.
Going over. Slow game.
And every time he hits a bucket, he looks over at his countryman Lou Dort and says he cannot guard me. You're saying that to a first-team all-defensive player, and Lou Dort is feeling it.
Well, he hit his first 11 free throws, Mathurin, but he's missed his last 2. However, still the Pacers by 3. 2:45 remaining. Mathurin guarding SGA. Pull-up jumper.
That's just weight room.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
That's weight room.
That is where he excels.
That's automatic.
That's got to give this crowd PTSD. Looking at that shot from that spot on the floor.
Toppin to Siakam.
What are you giving it up for?
Mathurin again gets past Dort, goes inside, and crushed once again as he gets.
And listen, all right, you made the right play. You have him on the island. He's the best player on your team. Cook him.
Mathurin, by the way, the most free throws he's taken in a game in his career, 16. Nails that one. He's taken 15 now. A 32-point, 10-rebound game. And the Pacers back up by 3. A.J. Mitchell. Gilgeous-Alexander up top. Mitchell on the drive, gets inside, uses the right hand. Beautiful adjustment. And Mitchell now with 21.
Well, they sent traffic at Shea to make him give it up, but they did not do a very good job of cutting off the penetration on that kickout.
Mathurin up top, Siakam. Dort trying to poke it away. Siakam jump shot, in and out. Holmgren the rebound. Gilgeous-Alexander on the drive, goes to Toppin, trying to get some contact, and gets the bounce. 39 for Gilgeous-Alexander.
The touch.
Siakam looks up at the shot clock, kicks it out. Walker off the bounce. Reverse layup. He banks it home. Jared Holmgren fouled. Key 1-point lead for the Thunder as we approach a minute remaining. Mathurin playing one of his best all-around games. Corral, and Gilgeous-Alexander comes the other way. Under a minute remaining. Siakam guarding Gilgeous-Alexander. Lost the handle, 4 in the shot clock, pulls back, puts it up, way off, Toppin.
Terrible shot.
Couldn't control it, but Shepherd can. Pacers with a chance to take the lead, 30 seconds remaining. Crowd on its feet here in Indianapolis.
Oh, he lost it.
Toppin, push back, shot clock down to 9.
Go get it, go get it. Now go to work. Go to work.
Siakam,
man down, man down.
Off the mark, Hartenstein the rebound. Siakam thought he got hit. And then Toppin. Siakam against Holmgren. Pulls back, puts up the jumper, puts it in.
There we go.
Pascal Siakam ties the game.
I love it. I love it. Because it's about moments, man. I love moments in a game like that, back and forth. I mean, you see what it turned into. I love moments where it's just mano a mano. Go get you a bucket. Get this video a like. Subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys.